So, in our previous session, we have just covered up how do I create a new customer inquiry. This was done in session 1. Now in session 2, I'm going to show you how do I float an RFQ. This is in the RFQ module. This is the sub module within the customer inquiry itself. I will just show it to you how you're going to float an RFQ. Let's assume you've logged into the system. You go to the business development tab, order processing section, customer inquiries button. Let us go to the inquiry which we created, which was number 167. Go. The inquiry is fetched. You have the previous details if you remember: buyer 1, buyer 2, seller 2, products inquired, and we had the seller which was selected earlier. So that was seller 2. I have removed that seller data from here, and I've removed certain information just to show you how we gather information using an RFQ. For example, now your buyer requires benzyl cyanide and you want to source benzyl cyanide from the market. You already know who your sellers are, or you may not know who your sellers are. You need to click on the RFQ section button, view RFQ section button. Now this button enables a subform in this area which is hidden as of now. When you click on this button, you see a subform opens up. It will have 3 tabs: RFQ from sellers, RFQ from buyers, and negotiation tracking. RFQ from sellers, as you know, you are going to tell your seller, I want this product. This is the quantity that I need. This is the unit type I need. I want the transaction to be in this currency. The origin of the product should be from this country. These should be the Incoterms. This will be the payment terms. What will be the port of loading, discharge, and this inquiry, RFQ inquiry, is valid up to what date. So this is what you're going to ask your seller. Now make sure the product is selected. If you see this triangle, this pointer shows that the current benzyl cyanide is the product which is being selected. So you need to source for sellers in order to float an RFQ. Just below RFQ from sellers, you got a combo box which shows you a list of all the sellers which are in your database. You see these also which we created, all these. Okay, this shows you all the sellers, but the orange one, the one with the orange border, if you click on it, it will only show you the sellers who deal with benzyl cyanide. Okay, so it will help you in shortlisting who are the sellers for this benzyl cyanide, instead of you going and doing the guesswork and calling each one of them or sending them an RFQ. Fine. The next combo is a request status. It has got 4 messages: RFQ not sent, RFQ sent and awaiting response, RFQ response received, RFQ finalized with the seller. So at any moment your senior wants to know, or you want to know, what is the status of the RFQ which has been sent to a particular seller. This status box should help you identify what is the current status. This is the purity, percentage, quantity available in a particular units, packing, price received, in what currency. These are the details which you will receive: the rate, total amount, Incoterms, payment terms, any special comments. These are the details which you will receive from any of these sellers, okay, from any of these sellers when you request for an RFQ. I hope you know RFQ is request for quotation. Okay, so let's say I'm choosing a seller, for example seller 2. Now the moment I selected a seller 2, his email address automatically comes up. In order to send an RFQ, it's very necessary that you have an email address. Make sure Outlook is open in the background. Okay, Outlook is open in the background before you send an RFQ. Now you can request for an RFQ from hundreds of sellers. Okay, so we are not giving you the option as of now to select or with a check box each seller, and then with one click of a button an email going to all these sellers, because as per our earlier practices, when such an email went with multiple seller email IDs, although they were into the BCC, they all went into the seller's junk box as a junk mail. So the entire purpose of an email RFQ request was defeated. That's why we created a new pattern with a separate RFQ button. So if you see above, these are the details which we are requesting our seller. And in our current situation, our seller is seller 2. So let's click on the RFQ button. So if you see this RFQ status, RFQ not yet sent. That's the current status. Now if I click on the RFQ button, you're not getting any data here. Okay, let's save. Say RFQ. Okay, your record was not saved, which is the reason why it was blank. Now an RFQ is come directly into the email body of the Outlook mail. Your email address of the seller automatically gets in here. Make sure the address is perfect, because any mistake, the mail is not going to go through. The subject is automatically entered. Request for quotation, reference our CRM enquiry number 167. 167. So this inquiry number is given so that when the seller responds to you, he has to refer to something to you that you sent him. So he will refer to you with your CRM enquiry number. So you know that on this enquiry, I sent this seller an RFQ. I requested for an RFQ for this product whose cash number was this, for certain quantity in kgs in this US currency. These were the Incoterms, and in these shipping days, packing, permit terms, remarks. So this is a very small and a very cute mail which is serving as an RFQ to the seller. On clicking this RFQ button, this email gets created and pops up, and it waits for you to confirm if you still need to make any changes. You can make any changes you want over here and click the send button. If you are always confident that your RFQ is going to be absolutely without any change, on a click of this button, we can have this RFQ sent directly to the seller. If you're very confident that the seller's email address is the same address you want to mail him, if there's not going to be any amendments in the body section of the quotation, request for quotation, we can have that sent directly to you. On the click of send button, the email will be shot to this email address. It will go via Outlook. Our CRM is tightly integrated with MS Outlook. We are not sending this email. Do you want to save? No. Now, when I said RFQ, click on RFQ, you see the status has changed, that the RFQ is sent and we are awaiting response. So we will immediately know. Otherwise, if without the status, we might even click this again, and there might be two mails going to the same seller, which might be very annoying to him. So we are changing the status here for you, telling you that one RFQ email has already been sent to him. Okay, and we wait for it. So when the seller gets your mail, he's going to respond to you with certain details which you requested. So when you get the details, you can choose, sorry, let me say, you can choose another seller also. You see, you can click RFQ, nothing there, you have not saved it. Saves, you see, you are telling seller 3, send me your RFQ. So we are requested two of these people for information related to this product. So if you see the analyze sellers RFQ, it's going to show you that you have asked two of these sellers for their prices for benzyl cyanide on inquiry number 167. Now this is blank because they haven't responded back to you with any details. Your status shows RFQ sent and awaiting response. Now let's assume that the seller 2 has responded. He says, okay, my purity percentage is 5, and out of the quantity which is requested 5, I have 4 and kgs. Okay, and currency is in USD, and the rate which I am giving you is say 350. Okay, my inco terms, my payment terms, any special comments. Okay, save. And seller 3 has also given his price. His purity is 5, his quantity available is 5, for example kg, currency USD, his rate is 400, so amounts to that much. CIF, payment 60 days, whatever, save. Now if you see analyze sellers RFQ, now if you are your decision on this as to which seller should you do business with depends on sharing with your boss, with your senior, and at the same time your senior isn't available in the country. If we mostly they are always sitting in China, they are always visiting China, so you can have this RFQ sent to him via email, PDF. Okay, now this becomes an email attachment. So when your boss receives, or you yourself might receive it from your juniors from your office, you're going to view this PDF and looking at the pricing, the terms, everything. If there is something else which is missing, we can have that for you over here, so you can analyze the RFQ from each seller. So you can this is an auto serial number, so you can write a reply mail to your junior or the person sending you this, or your boss may write back to you saying, okay, I feel this one's price is better, his terms are better, so why not do it with this seller. Let's sign up with this seller. So you'll say, okay, sign up with number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, depending on whatever. So you see, it will become very easy for you to sign up. So this is a report which you can print and you can send it across as an email. So let's say, for example, seller 2 is here, and let's remove this, for example, and I'm removing this seller 2. Right, saving. Nothing, no seller has been finalized. Okay, now the persons, this seller's 2's prices are here, 350 total amount, whatever, and you want to finalize with this seller. Okay, so you can click. There is a difference between this finalize button and this finalize button. I will tell you. If you see, last time we had clicked on this finalize button, only the seller who was selected over here, his name gets in here. Now see what happens when I click on this finalize button. We are finalizing a seller, but this is from the RFQ module. I say there is a tooltip which comes. Finalizing from this point will help in automatically entering seller RFQ prices into the product's inquired subform for the currently selected product. This is your currently selected product for which you are finalizing the seller. I say finalize. Seller 2 is finalized for this order. I say okay. You see what has happened? You see the rate 350 for this seller is automatically entered for you here. You see, The Incoterm CIF has been entered for you. The payment 30 days, earlier it was 60 days, has been changed to 30 days. You see? So we can do any changes for you up here. You have to just tell us, tell our business systems analyst how you want it, what change you want, where. If we find it logical, we will definitely do it for you. Like what we did here for many of our customers. Okay. Now you can save this. So the new change gets saved. This is your seller's price to you. Now you can put in your price, any packing details. You get your sale rate, and let's say you have a commission percentage, like 7.5%. Wow, $150 per kg per unit, and this is now 100% done. Status closed. Save. You can generate offer. You see, offer is generated. RFQ has been created, and this will always remain with you. You see, you go to any other inquiry, come now. If you want to know what was the RFQ on, does this have any RFQ? Yeah, it had one. I want to know the RFQ on 167. Go. It's here. You see, this was 28.3. If you want to, this is how an RFQ is generated. Okay. Let's say detail reports of 1st March should show me till 31st March for a particular buyer. Buyer 1. Buyer 1 wise business development. You see, a report is created. It's an open business development for buyer 1. For inquiry number 167, this is the marketing or business development executive for the year, financial year, for the inquiry date, trade division for this buyer. This was the seller for this department. For this was the product which we sourced for this buyer and from these two sellers. Now, we from these two sellers, you will also know RFQ was finalized with this seller. Okay. RFQ send awaiting response. We didn't make any change to the status. So it is showing you whatever was the last default status. So this is the inquiry register of all your inquiries which gets registered by all the different types of users. So in one click you get to know the entire status of your inquiry. You see, you have open inquiries, you have closed inquiries. But right now we did it for a buyer wise. So we are getting to see, show me all the buyers who did business with us between this date and this date. Show me all the products we did business with between that date. We did only for benzyl cyanide. Show me all the sellers we did business with. Seller 1 and seller 2. Let's say seller 1, we don't have any other details. In seller 2, here we have the details for seller 2. Okay. So all information that's entered can be viewed from here. So these are basically, this is basically the order processing register which you can see between dates. We are also going to have one more tab for choose employee. So you get to see all the inquiries processed employee wise, all the inquiries processed employee wise. So all the business development done employee wise. So this is the detail part of reports. That's why it's coming into the detail sections. If you want to know other MIS reports, we will be making these reports for you. You have to tell us what kind of report you want, how you want it, and we'll be doing it for you. So I hope you have understood how the RFQ has to be performed, because this is a query which comes to us from 90% of our customers using the CRM. So it used to become very difficult training each one of them or a group of them, and there are times when they forget, or there are times when employees switch their jobs and the new employees needs to know how this process has to be executed, which is the reason why we have made this video, so you can run it as number of times as you want and understand how the procedure works. You can have hundreds of sellers shortlisted. There is no limit. Okay. Now this is the shortlisting of a seller for a particular buyer, for a particular product. Similarly, there is a reverse process of RFQ from a buyer. For example, if you are representing a seller for a particular product, for example, benzyl cyanide, you may look for buyers who buy this product. Now you see, I have got a list of these buyers who buy benzyl cyanide. You see, from where did I get this list of buyers? It is from my static information file. Buyer 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, we are getting all this information from here. So, and these are the list of all the buyers. So you can approach any of these buyers and ask them, and you can send them an RFQ telling them, I have this product and I have got so much quantity with me and all the terms which you are trying to discuss with him, and you can ask the buyer to send you his buying price. Okay, so these are all the details required per buyer. Similarly, we have the RFQ status. Everything is the same. Only thing is that the process is reversed. From seller, now you are asking from a buyer. Any negotiation that's happening, we have made a small provision for you to track this. Most of this happens in the follow-up, but these negotiations are related to RFQs. Okay, so I hope you've got how to create RFQs. Thank you.